The universal monster. Every culture on Earth drew the same monster. None of them ever got to see one. A flying, fire-breathing, house-sized reptile is one of the only creatures evolution refused to build, even with 4 billion years and a whole planet to try. From Africa to China to America, people picture it the same. Not only does virtually every culture have a name for it, smoke in Polish, tatsu in Japanese, unktena in Cherokee, but dragons everywhere share the same characteristics: multiple heads, talon-like claws, blazing breath. How is that possible? How did cultures that never once spoke to each other invent the exact same beast? This video walks through the real animals that came shockingly close, then lands on the unsettling reason humans kept building the dragon anyway. The animals that almost made it. Let's start with the creatures that got surprisingly close. The bombardier beetle. This tiny insect mixes hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone in an internal reaction chamber. When threatened, it combines them with enzymes and unleashes a near-boiling chemical spray, complete with gun smoke. It can fire up to 500 explosive bursts per second, a true biological flamethrower. As close to fire-breathing as biology ever got. The Komodo dragon. The Komodo dragon and its extinct Australian cousin, Megalania, were venomous monitor lizards. Megalania was longer than a car, a reptile that early humans actually shared a continent with. The Draco lizard. The Draco lizard glides up to 200 feet on wings made from its own ribs. It literally has working wings constructed from its skeleton. Quetzalcoatlus, a pterosaur the size of a giraffe, one of the largest flying animals that ever lived. It vaulted off its arms to get airborne. So nature got close, but it never built the dragon. Why?
Why evolution couldn't build a dragon? There are 3 hard biological limits. First, no animal ever evolved actual fire. Fire breathing requires a chemical reaction hot enough to ignite. The bombardier beetle proves heat is possible, but sustained flame? That needs an ignition source, fuel, and oxygen in a controlled stream. No vertebrate has ever evolved that. Second, 6 limbs don't exist in vertebrates. Every backboned animal on Earth, from fish to humans, has 4 limbs. 2 legs, 2 wings, 2 arms, always 4. A dragon would need 6. 4 legs plus 2 wings. Evolution never built that. Third, the square-cube law would crush it. Galileo discovered this in 1638. If you double an animal's size, its weight multiplies by 8, but the strength of its bones only multiplies by 4.
Its bones would buckle under its own weight. Physics itself refused to build the dragon. So, nature skipped it. But humans didn't. The fossil theory. Ancient bones, ancient fears. So why did we invent it anyway? There are 2 leading theories. The first one? Fossils. Adrienne Mayor, a historian at Stanford, traced the legend of the griffin to ancient peoples encountering dinosaur skeletons. Scythian gold miners passed through the Gobi Desert at the foot of the Altai Mountains. They encountered the skeletons of Protoceratops and other dinosaurs littering the ground. They had no concept of extinction, no concept of paleontology. They only had one way to explain enormous, unfamiliar bones. Monsters. The griffin, part eagle, part lion, was born from fossils that ancient people found but couldn't explain. But fossils alone can't explain why dragons appear everywhere. Africa, Europe, Asia, the Americas, all with the same basic shape. That's where the second theory comes in. The instinct theory, the dragon in our brain. David E. Jones, an anthropologist, argued that the dragon is actually a fusion of humanity's 3 oldest predators. Consider this. The snake was one of our earliest predators. The big cat, especially leopards, hunted our ancestors. The bird of prey dropped from above.
The dragon is all three combined. A serpentine body from the snake, claws and teeth from the cat, wings from the bird of prey. Jones argues that over millions of years, our ancestors evolved an instinctive fear of these predators. Those fears fused into a single image, the dragon. He claims the brain dragon was probably fully fixed 3 to 4 million years ago, about the time of Australopithecus, the first large-brained, upright walking primate with manual dexterity to make stone tools. The dragon was never an animal. It was a fear. It was a nightmare that we built ourselves, out of predators far older than our species.
We still tell dragon stories, because the fear that created it never went away. Conclusion. So maybe the strangest part isn't that nature skipped the dragon. It's that we built it ourselves, out of fears far older than our species, and handed it the same shape on continent after continent that never once spoke to each other. That's not coincidence. That's instinct. That's evolution leaving its mark on the human imagination. A fossil of our own fear, preserved in every culture's art and myth. The dragon was never an animal. It was always us, our past, our fears, and the predators that shaped our minds long before we were human. Thank you for watching.